to see what I can do better. And we are rolling. Okay. I know you have heard the whole story. I'm just making a quick introduction. My name's Jens Kiel, Jens like possessive from Ian. I married a West Virginia girl. She brought me across the ocean. I work in marketing and advertising for 30 years now. We owned an advertising agency in Germany. Sold that in 2004. In 2005, I came to West Virginia. Started working with a local agency, a creative firm, in 2006 to 2013, when I started my own business, Made in Germany. I provide marketing and creative strategy, so I do everything from copywriting to design to planning marketing campaigns for my clients to help them communicate better, and I do business consulting, trying to imprint the German way to American companies, which is really interesting because Germany is known for efficiency, and I try to bring a little bit of that efficiency to companies because, and I'm sure you know it, you have to compete globally nowadays. It's not locally anymore. I love it. Personally, I think this has made the planet a lot richer, and even though there's lots of competition out there, I embrace that I get the opportunity to talk to people around the globe and to the next state. I just took a new client out of Kentucky, and I love the relationships that you have in the United States, the relationships that you build. And so this speaking engagement is part of me giving back. West Virginia was good to me. The United States has been great to me. And so I put it on my flag that I want to help share what I've learned with everybody. I do these workshops free of charge, and if you have a company or a professional or a non-profit organization, a group of 10, 20 people, and want me to talk about this or any of the subtopics that I'm talking about, please let me know. I'll go out and I'll talk about that. I've been talking twice at Create West Virginia, once in Ridgewood and once in Glenville. I'm doing a monthly, second Thursday of every month online. You'll find that on the Made in Germany Facebook and on the SCORE and SBA websites. They promote that well. And so I taught this workshop at Toyota, at the West Virginia Society of CPAs, and other companies. And I'm passionate about this, and I hope that you will enjoy this. You wonder why you have a German candy lying on your desk. I brought Werther's for one simple reason. If you don't learn anything out of this, you don't get anything out of this, at least you get a piece of fine German candy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I could have brought Stork Schoko Riesen too, but they are not good for your inlays, so I left them at home. All right, let's talk about this. This is a primer, as I said earlier. If you come here to learn the finer details of Instagram and Snapchat, you're at the wrong place. I'm just covering on how to write a good email and how to write a better email and what to do and not to do with your phone. And I have my phone on silent. Let's see what you have your phone. You don't have to turn it off.
Silent.
Here's a hint. You can just put it face down on the table. That means I am still available, but I respect you enough that I will focus on you and not on your phone. And I'll talk about that too. And then my centerpiece of this is social media. I'm an active social media user, and I know we talked about this. Age is not a reason, being not technically literate is not a reason to not be there, because it's like I'm saying I'm not touching a telephone anymore. I'm going to withdraw from communications. You have to be where your clients are. If you own a business, if you are a professional communicator, you have to be where the people are that need to hear you or that you want them to hear you, and you want to hear the same. This is a fantastic world out there, and you meet fantastic people. You meet crazy people too, and I'll leave it at that. I'm not talking politics today. There are people that are very big on the use of Twitter, but there you can make fantastic connections, and I'll talk about a few examples on how I use social media to better my life, to better circumstance, or to have fun. which is part of your area. Let's get started. This is a wish. If I keep talking at this pace, you're gonna need more candy. I want more candy. 35 minutes. I'll try to keep it at that. We have several intermissions for Q&A so that we can talk about the topics as we speak about them, and you don't have to wait half an hour to ask that one question. And we can talk about just your experiences later on. You don't have to take any notes. The handouts and PDFs are available at jenskiel.com/file/DCE for digital communications etiquette. I have worksheets here, the centerpieces of digital marketing, which basically sums up the different platforms of digital marketing. On the back is a little cheat sheet on what not to do on social media. I brought a company profile too, if you want to get serious, and I have a company profile with a folder and in color. I also got you all a pen. See, it's redundant, you don't need it because you can download it all at jenskiel.com/file/DCE. But as I said, I want to provide something for you to take home, and even if you don't learn a thing, hey, you got a pen and 2 pieces of candy, or optional 3, so it's a win in everybody's book. Let's get started. Talk about email etiquette. I know it's a little boring, but it's good to know. We have 2.5 billion global internet users, and there are more and more every day, with 4.3 billion email accounts. You know, you probably operate more than one of them. We count up to 192 billion or more emails per day, split somewhat around 144 billion business emails and 48 billion private emails. And yes, there's tons of spam in there. 80% is the standard. I talk to IT directors that say we get 95, 92% spam, so experience matters. We want to talk about the emails that actually matter. We leave the spam aside. Use Gmail, great spam filter, can highly recommend that. Emails are perceived less permanent than printed letters. So if you go type up your letter in Word and print it and mail it, it gets life on its own. It communicates something that is perceived. If you rip open that envelope, take out that letter, and you smell the paper, you have a different experience than, bing, you get an email with 3 or 4 words. So it's a whole different perception as you receive the email. The style differs by the user, and some users, if they never learn how to write a good email or write a good letter, they will use email like they use a text message. They only send 3 or 4 letters, and the conversation goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I tell you, if I have an email conversation that goes back and forth 10 times, I'll pick up the phone and call the person. I cannot stand using email like that because, I might be a freak, but I sort my emails. I have about 26 different receptacles in my Gmail account where I save my emails. I got about 42,000 emails at hand, and they are all sorted. I delete everything that I don't need. And so really depends on, do you want to write an email that people keep? Do you want to write an email that people can still go back after 2 years and say, oh, I got what he or she said back then? Or do you just want to communicate one quick message? Emails are composed usually by using the speaking vocabulary of the writing vocabulary. For me, as a non-native speaker, that's important because while my writing vocabulary is really good, my speaking vocabulary is somewhat limited because I didn't grow up around here. I know how to use my language well because I used it in business English for 30 years, but every now and then I lapse here and there. So I try to bridge a little when I write my emails. So they're probably more letter-shaped because I try to focus on my writing vocabulary versus the speaking vocabulary. But it's interesting, when you just compose a quick email, you will tend to use your speaking vocabulary. So it's a challenge to take it to the next level. Our reading vocabulary is actually the highest. So you perceive a lot more words and understand a lot more words than you will use in your day-to-day. Well, so for those of us that write for a living, we aspire to be at the same level. Take that up there. Now, this is critical. The email, as you print it out, what do you have? You have a letter. So all of a sudden, the email that you have in your hand, that you have printed, that if it carries some message of importance, all of a sudden is received as permanent communication. And so that's what I'm passionate about, is shape your email in a better way so that if it's get printed and people have it, they still communicate your brand, it still communicates your style. As you compose your email, you want to address the recipient of the email right. You want to spell the name right. I'm a good example. How do you spell his name again? That's why I made my website, jenskier.com, so that people will learn how to spell my name. But I still get emails addressed to myself where people call me Jen. You want to be mindful. If you address somebody, you want to use their real name, their full name if you have it, and you want to use it, and don't misspell the company name. If you want to do business with a company, look up the correct spelling. I had an architect come to me and being really upset because I didn't add the comma, INC, period to his company, because I just called the company by the company name. You know, people are, it's proud, it's their baby, and I understand that, you know. Made something Germany is probably not, when somebody addresses me, not what I would want to respond to. And I know when people call me and try to sell me something that they didn't go to the website, because usually they call and try to sell me the services that I offer to my clients. So spelling the name is important. The short subject line summarizes the content of the email message, usually less than 50 characters. Just a quick blip, this is what this is about. It also defines the urgency, if somebody needs to deal with it now, or it can be dealt with later. If you have something that's super urgent, just grab the phone. But I love email conversation because you can somewhat direct the time of the conversation, and you give the other party the option to respond with their time, within their needs. And I communicate with customers, and I communicate with their customers, and I always want to make sure that people understand that I'm respectful of their time. I know I will speed up because I'm respectful of your time also. Triple C's: be clear, compelling, and concise. Don't write 12 chapters. Don't write a saga or an essay. Unless you mean it and it's something that you'll have to do. But generally, when you send an email here, this is what it's about. And let me get to the point. Communicate your message early, within the first or second paragraph, so somebody doesn't have to read through 10 paragraphs just to get that you wanted him to call him, because if you had said that in the first paragraph, you guys would already be talking 5 minutes. Make it personal and keep it simple. I'm a big proponent for this. Communication should always be personal. I want to communicate something either that you want to know, that I think you want to know, or that I want you to understand. I want to learn from people, and I want people to learn from what I have to say. You know, if you communicate, if you reach out to somebody, make it meaningful, make it count, and make it about them. And keep it simple so it's easy understood, because the world is full of misunderstandings. Big thing, use an email signature. And I'll talk about the email signature in a little while. Because the little black book is a thing of the past. You remember in the 70s, 80s, people always had the little black book with the phone numbers. Nowadays, it's all on the phone, it's all in your email, and you're more inclined to go back to the latest email from XYZ. If you want to get John Smith's phone number, you just look up the last email and take the information right from there, if it's there. Limit emoticons, and if you put your head on your left shoulder, you'll see one. And limit all caps. I know a guy, he is a veteran of the Navy, and he learned to communicate via typewriter in all caps, because you have to say it and you have to mean it. And so if you read half a page in all caps, it's perceived as yelling, and your head is humming and spinning. So limit the all caps, unless it's the company name. Another thing that I've learned: if the company spells its name in all caps, please use it, else you'll learn why not. Here's a quick example on the content of an email and style of an email in comparison. The left one plain ASCII, the right one HTML, and the left one intently kept low on the communication level and try to do everything wrong that I can do wrong. Address john@office.com instead of using in my Outlook, putting in parentheses, putting in John Doe, so that he will show up when he receives the email in Outlook. It would just show John Doe instead of just bending it to the email address. If you do not format it that way, it will be perceived like you email to the email address. Your signature email sign for spam mail. When you get spam mail, it's just to your email address. It's never addressed to yourself. Not using a subject line. So no subject, instead of getting a quick, concise insight of what the email is about. Your opinion on my report. Hey, did you get to check out the report?